All right. Welcome to
The
last episode.
The last
Probably
episode.
the last episode of the Water
Yeah.
Cooler 2.0.
I want to say that we're not going to say this is the second episode. This is the first episode of the Water Cooler
That last
2.0.
piece of garbage was a pilot.
You really shouldn't openly say that, but yeah, sure. All right, well, we'll go with
Don't listen to it.
yeah.
Yeah. Also, no matter how, in spite of how bad it was, rather, our budget tripled?
Tripled.
We have an
Tripled,
intern.
quadrupled.
We have an intern now.
Yeah.
Who couldn't be here? Actually,
We've got an intro song.
we have an intro song.
Yeah, and
Hopefully, you don't mess it up.
yeah, I mean, if we do, man, I mean, I'm ready to leave this show. I think we did the best we could, and we can walk away with our heads held high. Guys, welcome to probably the last episode.
The last
of
episode
the Water
of the Water Cooler 2.0.
Get ready.
I fucked it up.
I just want to. I mean, it's recorded.
okay. It's
right
okay.
now. It
It's
is
okay.
recorded and broadcasted that I did nothing wrong right now.
I mean, you did.
What did I do?
It took forever to start.
Well, I
I
mean-
thought it was going to happen
Dude, I'm a human being who has to move his hand
You're-
over.
You could have been ready to go. You weren't ready to go. You were like, okay, let's go.
Man, the thing is, the people
Get
who
ready?
don't run the deck, the machinery,
You
and
don't
talk.
need excuses. I am really pushing your faults right now
Yeah.
because I totally talked during the intro and
I
I
know.
fucked up.
I hope you guys all heard that. I hope you didn't hear that. Actually, please.
Everyone did hear it.
That was a
It's
great
over.
intro song. and
Last
we just-
episode.
I'm telling you,
It's okay. No, I don't give a shit. Nobody cares.
All right.
It's the last episode.
It's fine. So, hey guys, welcome to the first episode of the Water Cooler 2.0.
And
the last episode of the Water Cooler 2.0. So, today we have me, Danushka, Kumar Singha,
Ryan, the other host who fucked up,
Walters.
as always. Walters. No
And-
relation to Barbara, in case anyone is curious about that.
And
Oh my god.
Dude, for a
Oh my
split second-
god.
No, for
Okay.
a split second, I was like, wait, who's
What?
Barbara Walters? But then I was like,
Jesus.
oh, I know.
Oh boy.
Okay, so with us today are two guests,
Two
not
guests.
Barbara
Not
Walters.
Barbara Walters. Yeah.
Or
So, okay,
Walter
so one of
Cronkite.
our first guest is our friend Courtney Rajan. Courtney, just tell us about yourself.
Okay, and it's Rajan, not Rajan. Doesn't need
dang.
doesn't need to be fancy or
Rajan.
anything.
Rajan.
Just Rajan.
Didn't you just make a Facebook
So-
post, by the way? About
I did.
people
I actually
fucking
made a
up people's
Facebook
names?
post, but actually, no. What I said in my Facebook post was, it's okay to butcher somebody's name as long as you're like, oh, I'm sorry. Let me
Yeah,
try.
that-
better.
I didn't hear an apology.
It's been my whole
I-
life.
I said so.
It's been my whole life. Rahan, Rayon, Rogers. I've gotten Rogers
Yeah.
before, so it's all good. No
Danushka,
worries.
Danashaka, Hanshoko.
Well, just with
Dushka.
my
I
first
got 'em
name.
all.
Where does Han Shoko come from?
I don't know. I've had people call me that.
I got Curly once.
Curly?
Curly. And I always get corny.
Oh, because Courtney, I guess some people messed up.
You know what everyone
It's
always
a
calls
thing,
me?
so-
Corny Rogers.
Ryan.
Corny
White
Rogers.
privilege. Oh, no, Brian.
Corny
People say
Rogers.
Brian
Yeah, people
sometimes.
sometimes call you Brian. I'm sorry for
I don't
that,
correct them. Or I say, no B.
man.
Like, no, thank you. I don't want that letter.
Brian, no B.
I say that, yeah.
Pull the B.
They're like, oh, hi, Brian. I'm like, oh, no,
Just some
no
B on the side. Little.
I don't want your B on the side. Get that shit out of here.
Just tell us a little bit about yourself, Courtney.
Okay. Well, born and raised in Los Angeles, one of the few, I guess. And then in terms of my education, I have a.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I was like, one of the few.
One of the
Aren't
few,
we all?
And then everybody.
Well, no, because
I
a
feel-
lot of people come into Los Angeles,
Oh,
so
oh.
there's very few Los
Two of you.
Angelians,
It's because
native
Two of
Los
you are from
Angelians.
Rosemont. I mean, that's.
Oh, shut up.
Oh,
I
that
did
was.
live in New York for 8 whole years, so.
Oh my god, good for you.
I don't even know where this Rosemont place is.
I wasn't excluding you guys.
Yeah.
I was just meant native, like born and raised.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Anyway,
She's a native. Got it.
native.
Yeah.
Have a double bachelor's English and psychology. I did my master's 2 years ago in England. I was there for a year in writing, so it means I'll never have a real job. So there's that. Currently working with my sister. She has a bakery over in Burbank. And
Oh, what's the name of the
Really
bakery?
using that English degree.
Exactly, yeah. The French Confection
The
Co.
French Convention.
Confection.
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 Convention.
The French Convention.
It like sounds
like
an
to gather
assembly.
French people
It's a
and-
gathering to decide
French
the
con.
litigation, the policies of pastry.
French.
ParisCon.
Yeah.
Yeah, ParisCon. It's a
So.
big thing. Treaty of Tarts.
Oh boy.
Okay, so cool. Wait. So the French, and where's it located? That way we can signal boost that a little bit.
It's in Burbank on Burbank Boulevard. So yeah, we'll be open tomorrow.
Yeah, go give it a
Go
little.
get some
try.
French pastries.
French pastries. Yeah. Okay, and so our second guest today is Jessica Nunkamp. Jessica, tell us about yourself.
You still. That's not my.
That's my
last
thing,
name
guys.
anymore.
I butcher. My name's Danushka Kumara Singha, and
Also,
I butcher other people's names.
You've known her since like forever.
Yeah.
He's
like
using
14.
a name that I don't legally
That's your
go
real
by.
name, though, and that's
Yeah.
Nunkamp.
It's Nunkamp.
No,
A.
I said Nunkamp first, then I said Nunkamp.
I was correcting you because
He's like,
my last
Nunkamp.
name's
not.
actually Neil because I never
Yeah.
changed it
But
back.
I should also possibly point out that I butcher my own name. Like Danushka Kumar Singha is not even how you say my name. So
You've Americanized it.
I've
I've never
Americanized
actually
it.
said your
Yeah.
last
It's okay.
name
You're the
ever.
whitest person in this
I
room.
know.
And my name is Ryan Walters.
yeah. So okay, Jessica, tell us about yourself.
I am a nurse. I'm born and raised in California, but not Los Angeles like some people.
I think it's going to be held against me now.
I lived in New York for 8 years. That's where I got my nursing degree. I have a bachelor's in nursing. I work at a local hospital in LA, and I'm the stroke and sepsis coordinator there. Plus, I have cats, but that's
Okay,
about
and-
as much as.
And I'm a cat lady.
on that topic, I just want to say that she has the fattest cat I've ever seen in my life. He's basically a small planet. His name is Kalthaz,
yes.
which is a even a reference I don't get, but she's explained to me. It's like a
World of Warcraft.
World
yes.
of Warcraft character, right? But he is the fattest cat I have ever seen in my life.
Oh.
He's not even majestic. Not even majestic fat. He-
He is majestic.
There's
You
such a
look-
thing
by
as
the
a
way,
majestic
he's
fat.
Everyone should like acknowledge that he almost threw up right now. Like I don't know why you
You know
made
why
that
though?
face.
Listen,
He's like he's not. Oh god, he's not majestic at all.
and the only reason I feel that way is this, and I hope the listeners who listen to this show regularly will get used to me
Regularly.
This is the last
This is the last
episode.
one.
This is the last one. But I
There's
hope
no more.
if you ever meet me, I hope you know this about me. I will reference Ryan's cat often. Ryan's cat's name's Boo. He's a Russian blue cat. He is the most gorgeous cat I've ever seen in my life. He's a little chubby, but I love that cat. And also,
He's tearing up
I
now.
love him so much. I notice when he's a little bit underfed, and I will actually tell Ryan, like, Ryan, he's losing a little bit of
You
weight.
also try to molest him.
I did
every
try to molest
time.
him once. Actually, I love that cat so much that don't I like snuggle with him every single time I get the chance? Like I'm always trying to
Yeah.
get my
I
hands
think
on
that's
him.
why he doesn't like Kalthas is because he tried
Because
to
he's
snuggle
not-
him
he's
and
not
he was
good.
like,
I know.
no, fuck you. And
Yeah.
now Noosh is like, your cat is not majestic because it rejected me.
Also, it's disgustingly fat, nauseatingly fat, according to him right now.
It's a couple times I actually wondered why
you
the
do
planet
realize
Pluto
you're
was
fat
in your
shaming
living room.
my cat, right?
Yeah. That's really messed up. I'm glad he doesn't have a super ego to tell me that he's upset about my words.
Oh no, he doesn't care about your words.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
He doesn't even care about my presence.
he doesn't care about anyone's
Yeah.
presence. He's a cat.
Yeah. Okay, so for today's episode,
By the way, our two guests are in here like, I have a master's and a double bachelor's.
I know.
And
She
we're
has a
like,
double
we're
master's.
gonna make dumb jokes.
We're gonna make
talk about poop
Ryan and the Noosh.
and the noosh.
Like I can't make a sound like
Don't,
like
stop.
I don't know, like a sound effect, something.
You shouldn't.
Yeah, but
Whose phone's going off now? It's not mine.
Yeah, actually, I just
Want to point that out?
I just had a
Last
friend.
episode.
I know it's. I just had a friend actually message me saying they're listening.
No,
Yeah.
wait. Is that what happened
Dude,
right now?
Are we
Dude,
doing
air high five. We actually
five.
have
Are we
listeners.
doing shout outs?
We have
Listeners
a
out of
listener.
state, dude, in Oregon, straight up.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
We
that's
have-
pretty
we-
cool.
Thank you.
Guys, we've officially made it. Guys,
we made it.
We can retire. Last episode. Listeners,
Done.
we're
Take these
done.
headphones
All
off.
right,
Well,
Get out
that
of
was
guys.
just one person, so you have a listener.
We have a. That's
Well,
all
that's
we ever
fine.
wanted.
we
We only
know.
I was
needed one.
verified,
I
so
just
yeah.
wanted one person
Yeah.
in Oregon to listen to us.
Please, all
That works.
listeners, just spam Noosh's phone.
Please don't. Or the show's
All one
actually going to be
people.
the last episode. So, So
What is happening?
So today's episode, we always change topics. Today's episode is about psychology, so we'll be focusing on different aspects of psychology and talking about that. So
It's not as smart as it sounds.
It's not.
With all the degrees.
Remember this.
floating around
They
in
have
here.
3 degrees, including Courtney's
Which
doesn't
double
really
degree.
count for anything,
3 degrees.
honestly.
However, me and Ryan's non-degrees, Ryan and my non-degrees,
Demonstrated by my
I are
perfect grammar.
smart.
Demonstrated by our great grammar. Yeah.
Yeah, our non-degrees, I like to think, balance out the intelligence in this room.
We'll be dumb.
We are dumb. We be
dumb.
I
be dumb.
I don't know connecting words. All right, so topic is psychology. So
Not grammar.
not grammar. So basically, I'll start off. Just the thing I want to talk to you guys about today is about it's about child psychology in total, but it's about Blue's Clues. Blue's Clues is what I really want to talk about. Just great subject matter. To talk about Blue's Clues, though, we have to talk about Sesame Street. There and I want to talk about this specific episode of Sesame Street. So around, I want to say 96, 97, there was an episode of Sesame Street. And in this episode, what happened is Big Bird, he was having a crisis of conscience, right? He looked around, he saw all these characters, Elmo, Oscar, Bert and Ernie, all these characters have names, actual names.
Right.
And he was just Big Bird, he's Big Bird.
Fucking
he's,
Big Bird.
He's a big bird. He actually says
He's a big bird.
He's like, actually, it's really funny that a mailman actually goes up to him and says, and he delivers a package. He's like, "Oh, you've never been here to Sesame Street. How did you know I was Big Bird?" And the mailman just kind of looks at him and just like waves their arms, like, "Well,
You the big bird.
yeah, you the Big Bird." He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm Big Bird, and I'm a big bird."
That's
So
a good impression.
That was a good
That was a good-
impression.
Also,
That was a
you're
good-
wearing a yellow shirt.
I'm actually wearing a yellow shirt.
You're channeling Big
I'm
Bird.
channeling the bird. So, I mean, Big Bird gets really sad about this, and he spends the entire episode along with his best friend, Snuffy, the Snuffleupagus.
By the way, is Snuffleupagus real or his imaginary
Okay,
friend?
that's one of the things I want to point
That's
out.
a whole other.
That
Because
Was-
my
is
mind
this
was
like a real
blown.
No,
argument?
My
that,
mind
like,
was
people aren't
blown
sure?
when I found out that maybe he
basically
was imaginary.
Yes, well,
Like,
they
I
actually
didn't
pointed
know
it out.
that.
They pointed it out for a long time. Basically, Snuffleupagus is a character Big Bird talks to, refers to, is always interacting with his
His
best
best friend.
However, none of the adults or other characters on the show have ever interacted with him for the first 14 years. 14 years of
Jesus.
Sesame Street.
By the way,
nobody interacted with Snuffleupagus.
Big Bird has a lot of psychological
He
problems.
does.
Apparently, he's got imaginary friends.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a name.
He doesn't
This
have a
poor
name.
guy.
There was actually an episode where Big Bird actually came to terms with death, which is like a whole nother
Whoa.
thing. Like he,
Oh, actually, I remember
that was a deep episode. That was
yeah.
deep. Anyway, Snuffleupagus, his imaginary 14 years. Basically, everybody thought Big Bird's crazy. It's like, yeah, Big Bird, Snuffleupagus.
I
Sure,
think
That's
pal.
why they called him
I mean,
Big
think
Bird.
about this. He has a giant elephant imaginary friend named the Snuffleupagus. I mean, that sounds
The
like an imaginary.
Snuffleupagus.
His real name's Aloysius, I guess.
What?
Aloysius.
What?
Yeah, I'm
Or
not,
is it
these
Aloysius or
things-
Aloysius?
That's like-
Oh, Aloysius.
Okay, maybe you
Aloysius.
should.
Aloysius.
Sorry, guys.
Aloysius.
I'm foreign. I
I'm
don't
good at
pronounce your
butchering
Western.
people's
Well, that's
names.
my thing. I butcher names.
That is
So-
For real
That's
or
so-
imaginary, he'll butcher the name.
He spends the whole episode, right, going through just trying to find a new name for himself. He's just trying all these different names or looking for new names, talking to people to learn new names.
My
and at
name is Ron.
well, close. At the
I'm
end,
Bob.
at the end of the episode, he tells everyone, guys, from now on, I'm not Big Bird. My name is Roy.
It's Roy.
It's Roy, and everybody starts calling him Roy. It was basically a big coming out thing. Like he's
Were
like,
they supportive though?
They were
like,
they were
"Oh, okay,
extremely
Roy."
supportive. They're like, no problem, Roy. Like, of course, Roy.
Good.
We understand,
Good for
Roy.
him.
Like,
There's
good
some
for
people
Roy.
with
we're
angry
glad
signs saying
we're
we will
glad
not.
you've accepted that you are Roy. Roy.
People protesting.
Basically. So, but yeah, no more Roys.
No more Roy.
I like to
So-
call my birds big when they're big.
I don't even know. Good. So basically, he comes out. He says he's Roy, and after people start calling him Roy, he immediately dislikes it. He's just like he immediately dislikes it. He basically says like, "Yeah, but I'm Big Bird. Like I like the way my friends say the name Big Bird, and I don't like hearing a name that's not me."
By the
Like,
way, I don't know if you're trying, but you are talking
I'm
like Big
really
Bird again.
I
Yeah,
Good.
and
I don't
now
like
I'm realizing.
when people call me Roy anymore.
Now I'm thinking
That was
Big-
more Michael Jackson than.
Yeah,
I don't know what
yeah.
happened.
It
I'm
just
sorry.
sounds like Big Bird was like super depressed.
He was a really melancholy 6-year-old, 6
Well, I
foot
was
tall
just saying,
bird.
was he 6 years old? So
He was.
back and forth.
So he gets really upset about this whole thing, and basically at the end he decides, you know what? I'm not exactly happy with the name Big Bird, but it's my name and it's the name that people who love me call me, and so I want to be Big Bird. And that was like the message. And when you think about
And
this
you
episode,
really identified with that, being called Noosh.
being called Noosh.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, so
With a
I mean,
question
basically,
mark.
actually,
With a
I went through a period where I was like, guys, call me Danny. And then
Oh
I
my
was,
God,
I
I
did. I
remember
went through that,
that.
and I was just like,
On the phone, people used
people.
to think you were a woman.
people thought that was a whole different psychological
Oh,
issue
hello,
I had
Danny.
for a different episode. But
Thank you, ma'am.
I-
They always thought you were like an older, like 40-year-old woman
Yeah.
named Danny.
I refuse to go by Danny now because of that reason, and also because Danushka and proud, fist up in the air. Danushka and proud,
His fist really is up.
Danushka and proud. That's how I should be saying it. But anyway,
You can just stick to
You can
Noosh.
just be white.
I can just be white and be Danushka. So basically, on paper, this episode's amazing, well written. It was a great message. Like children should have eaten it up. However, the research and Sesame Street, you'll learn later. Sesame Street has a lot of research behind it. The research showed that every 5 minutes, 10% of viewers stopped watching that episode. Like it was losing 10%
Kids were
of
just
watchers
like,
every 5
I don't
minutes.
give a shit about you,
Kids
Roy.
were just like, no. And the reason why is because psychology later, a psychologist named Ellen Markman pointed out that children have this thing called mutual exclusivity. For them, when something has a name, it is that thing. Now, there could be other descriptors for it. Like, for example, an apple is an apple. An apple could be round, an apple could be red, but these other descriptors, children attach different like adjectives, different descriptors to that. But the actual object itself is an apple. For them, it is that one thing. So the idea of Big Bird, who to them is Big Bird, trying to change his name is a concept that they were not really able to process. For them, it's almost like Big Bird was trying to become something else.
He was
He's
trying to become
He was
a Roy.
transmute, evolve into a Roy.
And they didn't think, oh, Big Bird is Big Bird because he's a Big Bird. That's just because that's what everybody calls him.
Because, for
Right.
them, they call him Big Bird. So that's the object of Big Bird. The person of Big Bird is Big Bird. That's all he is. He's nothing.
I like this thing you're
Yeah,
doing.
I'm doing-
He's like,
He's
This
a 6
is
foot
Big
tall.
Bird
He's a 6 foot tall
in
bird,
my
but I'm
hands right
describing
here.
it as like a 1.5 foot tall object in my hand. So, just background
This is
on Sesame Street. Background on Sesame Street. Sesame Street was created by producers Joe Gans Cooney and Lloyd Morissette, and also a psychologist, Harvard psychologist named Gerald Lesser. And when they made Sesame Street, it was focused a lot on just the psychology of children. They actually created a group called the Children's Television Workshop, which is entirely focused on children's psychology and creating content that was educational for children that would help them to grow as individuals, psychologically speaking. And at the time, though, right, 1960s, children's psychology had not evolved that much since the 1920s. They still essentially followed the work of a psychologist named Jean Piaget. I think I got that right.
You're just dropping
Piaget?
names.
I'm name
every-
dropping, but I got that right. Jean Piaget.
I was told this
Jean
wasn't supposed to sound
Piaget.
like
I like to get some Jean Piaget. I just
I
said,
still think you did it wrong. I don't,
we're gonna look
No,
that up
as
later.
far as I know, it's Piaget. He's
Piaget.
French. He's
Yeah.
French.
He proposed the theory of cognitive development, and basically what that said is children. I mean, it's very simple now when we think about it, but at the time it was, revolutionary. It basically said that children in different stages of their development go through different psychological changes, and their perspective on things is different. For example, that whole idea of just children not being able to understand
Right.
what other people imagine, that sort of thing. Anyway, so I wish you didn't do that.
I'm sorry. I just ruined this whole thing for you.
Dude, I was doing so well.
It's
and
fine.
You were just like,
it's fine.
Dude,
Do your thing, baby.
it's fine.
Don't worry about it.
Thanks, man. So, basically, though, one of the other things he proposed is the idea that children are not able to follow an extended narrative. They're not. Their attention spans are too short, and they can't actually follow a long story. So, and Sesame Street followed this idea that this theory of cognitive of development that Jean Piaget proposed. So the approach that Sesame Street had to creating television for children, they had all these rules, and the rules were this. Basically, their guiding principle is that children watch what's interesting, and they do not watch what does not interest them. Basically, children have attention
Do
spans
adults
like adults.
watch what is not interesting?
No, it's true. They basically treat children like adults. Adults are the same.
Revolutionary.
Yeah, basically just people watch
Kids
what's
watch stuff they
interesting.
like.
Well, they're talking to them and not at them.
Right. So the reason they did this thing.
Shut me down. Ruined my whole joke.
Yeah.
She's like, actually,
Somebody
you're
has
an
a
idiot.
double masters.
Well,
I won't
think
say anything anymore.
No, please do.
Wait, was it double bachelors, double masters?
Double bachelors.
Double
Double
bachelors,
bachelors.
and then a master's.
Double bachelors. And a master's? I missed
And a
that part.
master's.
Yeah, from
Wow.
England.
Okay, the
of all
masters.
By the way, way for everyone in here to be like, "Huh, you're smart. What a loser."
things. We're all jealous.
There's
I'm not. I like
smart
being dumb.
shaming. Yeah.
Smart shaming.
So they had rules, and the rules were, one, it's going to be magazine format, which means if you've seen Sesame Street, they're always 3 to 4 minute like skits, jumping from one thing to another all the time, always change, like
Right.
commercials. The other thing is always varied content, live action, cartoons, puppets. The other rule, which is really weird when you think about it, but they had that for a while, which is the Muppets never interact with humans. And we've seen them do it,
What?
but for the first season, the first year of Sesame Street, they did not. Because the idea was that they didn't want to influence children's perception of reality and fantasy. So they were just like, Muppets never interact with human beings.
I actually
Like, that was like a rule. And it's funny, because then when you think about it, Sesame Street was entirely just human
Segregation.
beings. Yeah, basically. Oh, it's going to get to that in a second. So
That made me sad.
Every second was 2 to 4 minutes. Every segment was 2 to 4 minutes. And they had this idea of illogical surprise, which is, let's just throw some random stuff on screen, but teach people stuff. So that's where the characters were always doing weird stuff, but they were always trying to teach you at the same time. It was just this idea of, well, children will like random things to happen on screen because it'll interest them. That was their thought process. Basically, in a lot of ways, Sesame Street is like Saturday Night Live. It was
It's
that
reminding me
sort
of
of
more
thing.
of Robot Chicken in my head.
Oh, actually, that's a better example. You're right.
Yeah,
It is very
it's
much
just
more like
like-
Robot Chicken. Yeah. Good
So
point.
you know what? I feel like when they did Robot Chicken, they're like, "Let's make Sesame Street for like
Yeah.
Adults.
kids who are high and in high school."
So one of the things they did with Sesame Street, they were so hardcore about testing everything. A third of every episode they broadcast was and actually speaking about broadcast, their approach was always this. Every single day of the season, they had a new episode. Once the season ended, they'll do reruns, but every season, it'll always be new episodes every single day until the end of the season. They were always talking about new content, new things, because they want to interest children, right?
Right.
So they had ways of, they were hardcore about testing a third of every episode they created to make sure children were watching. Their goal is 85% retention rate. That's the minimum. They want 85% of all
This-
viewers to be watching.
It's like for a kids show, like,
Yeah.
"Hey, let's make a show for kids." They're like, "We need ratings.
Yeah.
We need 85." Like it sounds so. Well, it sounds like TV. Actually, it just sounds like regular TV.
I think the next 2 points will basically summarize how hardcore they are, because they had a psychologist named Ed Palmer who created this machine called the Distractor, and basically it shows
Oh my
random
God.
stuff on screen next to Sesame Street, and they put kids in a room, and they basically gauge every single time children look away, what segments they're looking away, and they create like a line graph of retention rate, and they basically say, okay, these segments where they're looking away, we need to change them, fix them, whatever. And their goal is always 85% and above retention for children watching. The other thing, they got a Harvard psychologist named Barbara Flagg, who had a machine that tracks eye movement, and they straight
Dude,
up.
this sounds messed up.
I'm just
weird
picturing
experimentation.
children.
Like they're just
Yeah.
like strapping them down to chairs,
Yeah.
Clockwork Orange stuff.
Opening the eyelids.
They were like, you will watch this yellow bird teach you about numbers. 12. So
There's gonna be a quiz at the end.
and basically the whole thing was anytime the children's eyes move away from the screen, they will track that and gauge it. And here's what they learned from all of these tests. One, they learned that the children were not really that interested in the stuff going on in the street, the Sesame Street, because there's all just human beings, adults walking around talking about how Mr. Hooper got a new shipment of like Wonder
Yeah.
Pop or something. And
You know
then,
what I learned about Sesame Street right now? That it was sad, man. It's the show. You ruined that. Not that I like watch it or anything.
Right.
Well, it's
but
not worth it watching now. Kind of sucks.
It's a little creepy now, wouldn't
Yeah.
it be? Like,
Why are you guys keeping up with Sesame Street?
well, I mean, you know,
am
it used
not,
to be
but-
good.
Listen, dude,
it got bad after like
it's
season
FOMO,
12.
dude. It's FOMO, the fear of missing out, dude. You don't want to miss out. That's why.
Did you just make something up?
No,
Or did- am I
FOMO's
just
real.
really
FOMO is
behind?
fear.
I
No,
think
that's a
I'm
real
behind.
thing.
I
It's
don't
a
know
thing.
that one.
That's
Yeah.
a real thing.
It's a real thing.
Yeah.
I'll stand by you. Dumb people unite. What's up?
Yeah, what's up?
right.
So, the other thing they learned is
Smart
this.
people unite.
Yeah. Oh, this is the
I
other
don't.
thing.
The direction of this
I know
show
it's
is
just last episode, guys.
It's okay.
It's all right. The other thing they learned, aside from the children hate the street, is the children really like looking at the puppets, the Muppets. So that's why they integrated. That's why all of a sudden, who are these new people moving into the neighborhood?
Oh my
all of a
God.
sudden, you got birds and like elephants and like this guy living in a trash can. These new people moved into the
Skid
neighborhood,
Row.
you know. So here's the thing, though. This is again old psychology. In the 1970s and 80s, psychologist Daniel Anderson and from University of Massachusetts and Elizabeth Lorch of Amherst College, they did like newer psychological studies on children since the 1920s with Jean Piaget. And the thing is that these studies were in the 70s, but Sesame Street still didn't apply them. Even to the 90s, they just didn't apply the new studies, the new things we've learned about children. They did 2 experiments, basically, in the 70s and 80s. One, they're all around Sesame Street. Everything's about Sesame Street. First experiment's simple. They reordered episodes of Sesame Street to see if they can get higher retention rates in the children. They basically took the segments and made a story out of it instead of random stuff. And in fact, the children did pay attention more. The second experiment they did was they took 2 groups of children. They had both groups watch Sesame Street.
They
but
murdered one. No.
Wow.
one group had toys. And the experiment was basically see who would be more distracted or would they pay attention. Obviously, the children with toys played with the toys as well as watched Sesame Street. The children in the one room just watched Sesame Street. But what they discovered afterward is the retention rate was exactly the same. Exactly the same.
I was going to say, I feel like that was like the dumbest experiment ever. Like, you have nothing to do but watch Sesame Street. Let's see if they just watch Sesame Street.
Well, no. That was the control group. It's science,
Oh, yeah, I
right?
know.
It's the control group.
Dude, oh my God.
I'm sorry.
Continue.
Yeah.
Somehow
I just
get us to
dumb-shamed
Blue's
my
Clues.
friend. I know. Somehow.
Yeah, this is actually about Sesame Street.
Basically, what they learned, though, is despite the distractions, the children retained exactly the same amount of information. What they discovered is that children actually are way more sophisticated about how they pay attention to things than adults. They're able to manage their time more efficiently between things they're doing with their hands and things like that and what they're listening to. And what they learned is children don't actually pay attention to what's interesting. What children pay attention to is what they understand. If they understand what's going on, they pay attention. If they're confused, they look away. That's basically how you keep a child's like attention. Don't do
Adults
random
also.
stuff. Well, yeah, that's true. But,
Yeah.
well,
So it just applies to humans.
humans in general.
Well,
but they didn't think about that for children. That
Baseline
was
It
humans.
applies to humans, but also like when you grow up, you try to pay attention to stuff. Like
Yeah.
in school, you're like, trig. I still gotta get it. I still gotta
well,
get
and
it.
also,
I still gotta get a
who
C.
understands Trig?
So, yeah.
But I mean, this was at the time, at least, it was revolutionary for child psychology. But Sesame Street didn't apply any of this. So some of the producers of Sesame Street got frustrated with this whole thing of just not applying newer techniques. And these producers, Todd Kessler, Angela Santomero, and Tracy Page Johnson, created a new show. And their whole goal with this new show is we are going to use modern child psychology, and we're going to make a show that gets extremely high retention from children and actually effectively teaches children. And they created what is known pretty much as the best children's show ever made thus far, which is Blue's Clues. Blue's Clues had rules, just like Sesame Street, but its rules were based on modern psychology for children, which is this. Every episode has a single narrative. They always use familiar locations, schools, nurseries, houses, playgrounds, places children actually go. They use literal names for things. No Roys or no changing of names. Things don't have complex names.
Blue the dog.
Blue the dog. The characters were like mailbox, the mailbox. The shovel is
Mr.
called
Salt and
shovel.
Mrs. Pepper.
Mr.
I'm
Salt
the
and
map.
Mrs. Pepper.
I know that's not the same.
In
show.
fact, he sat in a chair called the thinking chair.
Yeah.
That's because that's where he thought.
I
Like, it was
wasn't a
everything.
child, but I loved Blue's Clues.
I wasn't- yeah.
I watched it with my brother.
I was like older, but I did watch a
Noosh
few
watched it by
episodes.
himself.
I watched a few episodes. But listen,
still does.
The reason though is because Miranda was really hot. Like Miranda was.
Dude.
I'm just saying,
Dude.
Miranda was hot. Dude.
Listen, no. I really hope that wasn't the reason you watched Blue's Clues. How
As an
creepy
11-year-old?
and weird
Wait, who
is
is
that?
Miranda?
Miranda
Oh,
is
you didn't know
Steve's-
Noosh when he was 11.
did you
Well,
know
you didn't
Noosh
know
when he was
Noosh
11?
when he was 11.
12?
We met when we were 14. Like it was.
I'm older than you.
Oh well, I was 14.
Okay.
Yeah. But no,
I
mean,
assume 14-year-old Noosh was exactly the same.
that is actually pretty accurate
Yeah.
to the truth. But no,
like,
listen,
"Oh,
she's
man,
like
that girl's
she's like
pretty
a 20-year-old human character on that show. She had a dog, Blue's best friend Magenta. I just thought she was hot.
Okay. I think
That
I
girl.
know.
Yeah.
Well, my older sister did have a crush on Steve, so.
Okay, I mean it's
But did
normal.
She was like
watch a
she was
child
like 8, she was
show
like
to,
18
like-
at the time.
I didn't
so-
watch it all
Did
the
she
time.
watch
just, like,
it
once in a while.
though? To like
with my little
oh,
brother,
man,
my
look at
our
Steve.
littlest brother.
Yeah, but you had a brother watching it. He had no one. He
I
was
watched
just
like one
by
or two
himself.
episodes. It was
I used
watching.
to like Home Improvement.
we
Blue's
may,
I was a
we may or may not
child.
have watched when he was taking a nap just to watch it. So, you know.
But
I just want you to feel bad about yourself.
moving past my past history with Miranda. The other thing was
First real love.
my first real love. The other things were every new episode they had at the start of the week, they reran it for the rest of the week. New episodes were weekly instead of daily or every other day, because they wanted children to rewatch the episodes over and over, because rewatching allows them to process the information and understand better, because they're telling everything as a story, so they'll understand the story better, they'll understand the information better. And they also did a lot of testing. They tested every single episode, not just the third, every single episode got tested with Blue's Clues. So they got rid of everything that was confusing. Sesame Street had a lot of like adult jokes, adult puns, things like that, to appeal to the adults.
Coming to terms with death.
Coming to terms with the fact that you're actually a Roy on the inside, that sort of thing. But Blue's Clues got rid of anything confusing and just focused entirely on literal things and teaching children, basically. By the way, one of the things that Sesame Street accidentally created, this is actually really funny, like I enjoyed this at least when I read it. Sesame Street had an episode early on, and this is in the 70s, where James Earl Jones, the voice of Mufasa, the voice of Darth Vader, right. Darth freaking Vader, came on the show, and he did the very first edition of like the letters game, where basically, it's like A, B. But here's the thing, Sesame Street wanted to just do A, B, C, like just read it. Right. But he, he's a very dramatic person, and he had a very strong, dramatic voice. He read it, and there's always a pause, and they didn't want that, but they're like, well, it's James freaking Earl Jones. Like, you're not gonna tell him redo it, James. So they just left it, and that actually became the whole thing, where you say A, and the children say A. Like the pause accidentally became long enough that the children started saying A for Sesame Street, and that it's actually called the James Earl Jones effect. Like that became a thing in children's television.
That is my favorite part of this whole story.
So
the climax. Yeah.
So Blue's Clues, though, because of the way it approached teaching children, it absolutely smashed Sesame Street in terms of everything, ratings, sales, everything. 13 million viewers at its height, and primarily children. 13 million.
I was going to say mostly teenagers.
Well,
mostly children plus
really
Noosh.
Plus Noosh. It generated $1 billion in licensing deals. 40 million units of DVDs were sold. 2 million people attended a live action play. A live action play for a children's show. I mean, it's considered the best. The main thing that they really push is that children learn through narrative, and because of that, it just really changed the way a lot of shows approached teaching children, including Sesame Street, which immediately changed the format after Blue's Clues came out. They stopped the magazine format and focused a lot on narrative stories. I mean, essentially, that's the two more things I just want to add. That's it. Two last things. No, true. I'm not.
And the show's over, guys.
Thank you for this. Guys, give me just two things. One is this. The characters, before they introduced the puppets into Sesame Street, because, again, it was like a segment. It was just like, all right, let's have some puppets on this show, right? Before the Jim Henson the company, the puppets were used for different things before Sesame Street. And this was actually really funny to read. Big Bird was a character conceived for LaChoy Asian Noodles commercials. The Cookie Monster was a pitchman for Fritos.
What?
Yeah. And Grover was used in promotions for IBM computers.
Nice.
And the last thing I want to leave you with is this. This is something Tracy Page Johnson, the co-producer and the voice of Blue, said about Steve, the host of, or said about Joe, but it's really about Steve. Joe is the host
the character Steve or the guy?
Well, okay, this is about the character, or the guy, I guess, who played Steve.
Make up your mind.
It's about the guy and the character. It's about both.
Okay.
But she's speaking about Joe, who replaced Steve later on in the show.
Oh, okay.
But this is what she said about Joe, but it's really funny to think about it in terms of Steve. She said, this is what the quote says. Also, according to Johnson, Joe's character was more like a preschooler and more innocent than Steve. And my thought was, Steve was edgy? Like, what? Steve was edgy?
I'm sitting in my thinking chair,
like,
thinking about...
Dude, there was an episode that I remember as a child, well, as an 11-year-old child.
Yeah, as a child.
And I just remember this. It was an episode where
Miranda.
Steve and Miranda were both solving the mystery.
Of course.
And they both went to sit on the thinking chair, and Steve sat, and then Miranda almost sat on him. And I think I was like...
And you got your first
boner. That was my first time, like,
Oh,
women.
That just happened.
Wow. That just happened. But, so that, guys, that was my first...
That got really awkward for me.
Because it's about children's show. Guys, child psychology.
It got more awkward for us than it did for the listeners, because we saw your face.
Yeah. Like,
you felt that moment again.
I did
for a
feel
minute,
that.
you weren't in this studio with the
Miranda.
mic. You were back in your own thinking chair.
Baby, I got a radio show now, and I'm kind of a big deal. Just let me know.
Oh my God. Please. Stop.
Let's move on to the.
Wait. First, I think we should all
What I actually
clap for it.
Golf clap.
Oh my gosh.
He did not last.
Yeah.
Our first pilot
I mean,
crappy episode.
we actually started
Like-
at 7:10, so
Yeah.
yeah,
Good job,
Dude,
man.
on point.
Last time you went
Air
you
five.
went way over.
I actually almost killed our show.
You
Yeah,
decimated
he went
the
too
show.
long, and
Yeah. Wow, guys.
That was weird.
Wait, I didn't hear what she said. I'm glad I
It
didn't.
was
Yeah.
a weird
I don't-
sexual joke at your expense.
I'm really glad I didn't hear
Oh.
that.
I mean, not really. That was sort of like a compliment.
Yeah,
He
it's-
went too long. That was.
Oh.
It sounded way better coming from me than it did for her.
It actually did. Can you talk like that more to him?
I
Well,
talk
that's-
I talk like that to him every day.
Yeah, I mean, it's Ryan and Noosh
Wink.
all the time.
all the time.
Yeah.
It got weird now.
Well,
All right, so
actually, I was gonna say,
Oh my God.
what do you think we're doing when we're not on this radio show? Heyo.
All right.
That
Yeah.
got weird.
Okay.
Okay, no awkward silences.
no, it's okay. Let it sit.
Let's
I
sit.
just want
Let's-
to. I want to stare into his eyes for a second.
So, that's it for me. What
Okay,
else you guys
so
got?
here's the thing.
Yeah,
Also, just as like a,
yeah,
I think last time we tried to do segues,
yeah. Let's.
which psychology is such a broad topic
Yeah.
that we're not. There's no segue. We went from Blue's Clues. Now we're talking about poop.
Yeah,
I think that's
let's
the
talk about poop.
perfect segue.
That
Just
is.
very
let's
direct.
talk about
So
poop,
it's
guys.
a smart subject. Let's just talk about poop, and
Yeah.
then we'll sound smart.
What you got, Courtney?
We just lost all our viewers.
Yeah, I know, right?
Listeners.
Okay,
Get it
so
right.
Whatever.
well, I don't know if Jessica has experienced it or not, but it's sometimes a little bit hard for women to use the restroom, get rid of their bodily functions, just in terms of the stigma around it. Because
You
basically,
could just say poop.
I'm getting
That's
to
not
it.
a swear word.
It'll
We can
be-
say poop on air.
It'll say
I've said fuck so many times already. We're past that. We're past it.
Yeah. No, I know what you're saying.
right, because just women don't have bodily functions, really. I mean, because we're supposed to be perfect. We're just a vessel. But in doing this
Full
research,
of flowers and
That's how I get through the day,
Exactly.
guys. I tell myself that
And
about all my
unicorns.
classmates and family and everybody I know. That's how I survive in this world.
yeah.
Not even just women for him. Everybody.
Everybody.
Nobody.
I don't want to live in a
sacred
world.
vessel.
instead of everybody poops,
Dude,
nobody
Dude,
poops.
I worked at a
Nobody
nursery once, and the first time I saw a child at that nursery poop their pants, I actually stopped going to work for 3 days. I'm not even
That's
joking.
not
I
a
just
joke.
that's
He
not a
was
joke.
in
I
the
literally
shower.
did not go for 3 days.
Well, it's not a phenomenon just for like the 21st century. I mean, this has been throughout history. I actually brought in a poem written in 1732 by Jonathan Swift. It's called "The Lady's Dressing Room," and basically what it is this guy Strephon. He goes into Celia's dressing room and he starts to freak out because he's noticing she's human. He sees her clothes that has like stains on the armpits. Oh my God, she sweats. You know, he's going through all of these things.
Victorian men.
Exactly, just going through all these things, and it.
Dude, wait, is all of this the poem?
No, this is just the poem.
Oh my God, I was gonna say that's like a huge. He's
Yeah.
like, oh
But
my
it's
God,
double-sided.
I
It's
noticed all
double-sided.
these things.
1700s
It's double-sided.
poetry was
Yeah, no, it's
it was
long.
legit.
It's long, but it culminates with him coming across this chest that, for her, maybe it looks like it's just hidden, just looks like maybe another chest of clothes. But he's like, no, there's something in there. So he goes and he opens
Why'd
the
you go
lid.
snooping?
Open it,
bro.
dude. That's yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
want to open Pandora's
That's the rule.
box.
You never go to a
Exactly.
girl's
They
house
call
and
it
open her
Pandora's
stuff.
box. Like it ruins it for him. So I'll just read this one thing.
Excerpt.
Let's see. I'll just one. Yes, one excerpt. So he's going to the chest. He's going to open it, and he sees so things which must not be expressed when plumped into the reeking chest send up an excremental smell to taint the parts from whence they fell, the petticoats and gown perfume which waft a stink around every room. Thus finding his grand survey, disgusted Strephon stole away, repeating in his amorous fits, "Oh, Celia, Celia, Celia shits." So he runs out.
We've all had that.
By the way,
moment.
guys, snaps.
Was
Snaps.
there a chest full of
Snaps
shit?
for her.
I'm very confused.
Well,
I
they
think-
didn't have
I think it
toilets
was
back
her-
then,
it was like
so
the bath chamber.
Yeah, she hadn't emptied it yet, but she had it hidden in a chest so it wouldn't be seen. Probably for that very reason.
That's
You know.
You know what I will say though? Listen, everybody poops. I get it. I'm fine with that. Okay, I've lived with people, women,
Yeah.
and they too pooped. But I don't know if I could find a chest full of crap and be okay with. I don't think I'd call you back. Like, I don't think. I don't
Well,
think
yeah,
I would.
now
Also, this guy was so
Well, I think
traumatized.
it's a
He
little
wrote.
Also,
different.
wear deodorant, Celia. What's up with those pit stains?
This guy was so traumatized. He wrote a poem about. Oh wait, the writer was a different person than
Yeah.
this. But okay.
Well,
I like to think
names were
he-
changed for.
Yeah.
Maybe
Maybe
that was a real
his-
thing for
that
him.
was that was that was
He
how
changed
he
those
wrote.
writers
for a
write what they
nomination.
know.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
you
some of
know.
us stay awake
Yeah,
for
that
3
chest
days.
full of poop.
Some of us write poetry. That's how we
So,
deal.
well, it ends with him basically swearing off women because he can't see them any other way
Wow.
except for just full
Apparently,
of sweat,
sweating and shitting.
exactly.
In chests.
He can't be with any other women. So I mean so this is not a new thing. It's been throughout history.
I actually read an article recently, and it was about a man who was offended at a party because he went into the bathroom and the hostess had left out a nice little tray that had feminine products on it for anyone who maybe accidentally started their period while they were out.
Because it happens.
How do you accidentally start your period? By the way, doesn't it just? It's not like you ever like.
Okay.
You know what? I'm going to do
Okay,
it
so
today. Today's a good day
accidentally
for
not.
me.
Accidentally, but meaning without warning, because
Yeah.
there are times when you're
Yeah,
like,
okay.
oh crap, this is happening. So he was
No,
offended.
what? Don't make no. I didn't do anything. I literally had a plain neutral.
He was like,
neutral. My brain was like, keep a neutral face. Keep
Yeah,
a
but you
neutral
could.
face.
But here's the thing: I could see the forced neutrality on his face. He was like, "Oh God, periods."
We're talking about poop and periods. This is really awful. So
I
yeah,
handle this like an adult, guys.
but this guy
He tried.
came home and complained to his friend. I can't believe that they had the audacity to have this out. I don't want to see that. That's
Well, that's the other thing.
disgusting.
Not recognizing that women actually have a menstrual cycle. That's
Yeah, they
another
don't wanna
thing
be
too. That's
reminded of
another
that.
issue of just
Women
period
don't do
shaming.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's all types of shaming.
I'm all
going
against
on.
the free bleeding, but I'm still.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
That kind of grosses me out. But anyway, we'll
Me too.
we'll-
Yush and I are
we are unequipped and we are unprepared
we are
for
really
this
silent
conversation.
about this. Yeah,
Honestly, I think this is actually good that we brought on 2 women for this episode.
Yeah, thank
'Cause I think
God.
if it was just one woman, I think every man in the room
You
would
guys
just
have been
be
like,
silent.
yeah, you shouldn't
Just
shit.
like-
That's
no,
disgusting.
you know what? I don't feel awkward about you guys
Yeah,
talking about it.
no.
I don't know what. I mean, I don't
we
have.
don't have to add. We're not
Go,
sure to
you
say.
guys, with
Yeah.
your bodily functions.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, it's just the
wash
thing.
your hands, then high
It's
five.
just like if you walked into a place and there were like pads and tampons and a basket.
and it's not like
Are
they're
you
it's
gonna,
not like they're
panic
used.
and-
If they were used, then yes, be disgusted.
course.
But
That
they're
is
in
awful.
wrappers. They're in wrappers.
Yeah,
I mean, there's
it'd
nothing
be
to
like
be.
having-
I might take one home for myself.
Yeah,
There you go.
I mean, they're good at
Party
stopping
favor.
nosebleeds. You know.
Well, they did that in
face
Sex in the
periods.
City.
Yeah.
They stuck it up. Okay, so going back to that. So
Going back to poop.
Yes,
Poop.
going back to poop. So that's the thing that's going on. So in doing some of the research for this, I found this one from one article, and they're saying that women in work, they'll go to different floors, they'll go out of the building just to use a different one. And bathrooms though are all one sex, so why would they be afraid to do it in front of other women? But there's still an anxiety about it because like I know I poop, but they don't need to know that I poop.
Is that really what it is?
I don't really.
I think it's just we've been
kind of
taught
conditioned.
to that it's disgusting.
Yeah.
From such a young age that it's disgusting in front of anybody.
Well, I mean,
don't
I know
intimately.
I know there's people like Noosh who don't like to use public restrooms.
I mean, I
Mostly
openly-
because the
yeah.
restroom is disgusting,
Well,
not
yeah.
because.
Well, and that's the thing too, and other things that I saw when I was researching this is taking something that's private and bringing it into the public. So men experience bathroom anxiety too,
Yeah.
but it's
Noosh
not.
does.
It's
Dude.
not. It's not as big of a thing.
Dude, one time I got it because I openly admit to this. I'm not going to be ashamed of this. I use stalls for everything. I am not a urinal guy. I am uncomfortable with urinals.
He sits to pee.
I don't sit to pee. I
You know
just
what?
say,
You know what
He
the
sits
best
backwards.
Thing, the best thing about me saying that right now is you can deny it all you want, and I'm not saying I know that he does or he doesn't because I've never.
Ryan knows.
I mean,
Ryan knows me. He knows.
all right, we'll talk about that later.
Got it.
But everyone thinks, yeah, but he might. He sounds like he's trying to defend himself. I planted the seed. I inceptioned everyone listening. The one friend of yours in Oregon who's listening
It's
thinks
like,
you pee
dude,
sitting
he
down.
sits to pee.
I don't even care. But the main thing is this: one time, because I use stalls all the time because I hate splashback from urinals. But the one time,
That's a real problem.
That's a real problem. No, that's a legit.
If you're
problem
wearing
guys have.
shorts and that urinal's low,
Yeah, you're
I
getting
did
it
see
on
a
the-
fact
on
that
your
said
legs.
if they put bullseyes, it reduces the.
yeah, you're
effect
supposed.
of
By the way, did
splashback.
you know that? I hope you.
What?
you're incredibly innocent and naive, so maybe you didn't know that.
Yeah.
You know when there's like a little bee or like a target of
Yeah,
some
yeah,
kind?
that's-
Pee on that.
Oh,
You aim at that,
snap.
so it doesn't. You don't get the splashback.
Nice.
That's what it's for.
But
Learn
what about
something new.
force of stream? Does that change the angle of splash?
Oh my god.
How
Force of
hard do you-
stream?
Yeah,
Dude,
like,
what is?
well,
Are
what
you
about
like
the diameter
erupting?
of the urethra?
What's the angle?
Listen. Your normal stream
Yeah.
of pee at the bee reduces
At the bee.
splashback. Oh
No
my god,
bee,
this
bro.
is a
Well, I mean, the stream
this
varies.
is really intelligent right now.
variance of stream, though. I mean, you got to take that into account. The arc.
Do you
Are you
like,
getting into the physics of
Yeah.
how you
dude? Wait,
pee?
Noosh. When you hold on, when you pee, is it like when you like use a hose and you like put your
Do you have
thumb
a narrow
over? Does it
urethra?
spray everywhere?
I will never do that. But you do have to measure the arc, the stream, the where's it
arc?
going?
Listen, how
I'm so glad I'm a woman.
how far away from the urinal? are
I
you
have to be
standing?
very far away because what if it touches me?
That's why you're having an issue. You don't have to measure arc if you stand where a normal person would stand to pee.
He's like across the
He's
room
like you're
pissing.
standing at the sink, trying to like
Yeah.
arc into. I don't think splashback is a problem when you're that far away.
Yeah, anyone walking
Listen,
between you and
guys,
the
guys,
urinal.
you know what? I'm gonna make an executive decision. Just keep using stalls.
Yeah.
Do yourself
Whatever it is
and
I'm
the world
doing
a
in
favor.
there,
You're
yeah.
doing it wrong. Just do the stall
Do it in
thing.
hiding. Well,
Take your shirt off. Take a seat.
oh my god! Oh my god!
I know you do it. I know
Don't
you
do that.
It.
Cover
Dude,
yourself in Purell
dude.
afterward.
all I know is one time a guy gave me a lecture, like straight up. I walked out of the stall and he gave me a lecture about using stalls to urinate, and it was just awkward for me.
Because
Dude,
that dude
P
was-
guy. I remember
P guy.
that.
From then on, I referred to him as P guy. And the funny thing is this: he worked at our company, and he referred to me to his friends as toilet guy. He actually called me toilet guy.
Wait. Was
The
he
lecture
like
was-
upset that you were doing it?
He was.
Yes, he was
You know
upset.
why?
Did he have to shit and you were in the stall?
No,
Oh,
no.
okay.
The problem with men peeing in stalls is that they pee on the toilet.
Sometimes.
And so when you go to sit, you're like, ah, man, there's
Again,
pee
lift
everywhere.
the seat,
God,
guys.
you gotta lift the seat, right?
Yeah, but you, Noosh, do you lift the seat?
Yes, I
Let's
do.
be honest.
I do.
You
I use
touch.
my-
You touch.
Not with
toilet
my
seat.
hands. I use my foot.
Let's go back to women pooping
All right,
in
so-
bathrooms. Have you ever walked into a bathroom and wondered what the hell a woman happened to do in the
Back to
bathroom?
poop.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Like she
Well,
shat,
and that's-
but then shat like
Yeah.
drunk.
Well,
with
that
Oh
goes,
my
That
God.
goes to the next point, though. Of just it becomes so if you're in a stall and you're about to do your business, and another person comes into the stall, and it even says here like it becomes like a standoff, or I'll say a poop stalemate, and then it becomes like poop chicken. Who's gonna go first?
So wait, you guys.
Well, just sit there
This
silently.
is-
Sit there
this
and
is
to see who will
such-
go first.
This
or
is so
you wait till they
educational.
flush.
Yeah,
Ah.
but then, and then I was going through this. There's like etiquette. People have given their suggestions, like, wait, what's bathroom etiquette? And so many of them, it said like, if there's another woman, just wash your hands and get out because they're waiting to do their business. Like, don't just stand there checking yourself. Wash your hands and go out because they're still
Honestly,
waiting for you to leave.
I've gotten to the point where if you're gonna stand in the bathroom for like 5 more minutes, I'm just gonna shit.
no,
You're
yeah,
gonna deal with
because
it.
then eventually you just have to go.
Yeah,
you know?
and-
So,
or you can't hold
but
it back.
you
Dude,
do.
I feel like
hold
there's
it.
like meetings, there's online forums that women go to, and they're like, okay, guys, listen.
Let's talk about the
it's a
pooping
uni-
thing.
The
I guess maybe
unsaid
it's a
rules.
universal unsaid
Yeah.
rules. Like everyone just kind of knows.
You know what? Men's bathrooms are a very different place.
Yeah, it's a wild west.
You walk in there, and you're gonna hear shit
Yeah.
sounds.
Well,
It's
and
just
see,
gonna
wait,
happen.
that's the other thing too.
Sometimes
is that,
you're at the urinals and you're hearing shit sounds right next to you. You know?
Sometimes
it's-
you walk in to wash your hands, and the smell and it's
Oh,
Celia's
and,
box,
and
and you just
sometimes
walk
you
right
walk
out.
in.
just-
Sometimes you walk in. There's some guy
Sylvia's
pissing from the sink all the way to the urinal.
What's up?
Welcome to CSUDH.
well, and that brings another interesting thing though, is that the anxiety for males. That anxiety has to do with not the act itself, but being watched. Guys have this fear of like they're being watched by
Someone
Don't
another
look at my
person.
dick, bro.
That's true.
Whereas for
That's
women,
true.
the anxiety is more the sound, the smell, the actual act.
Yeah.
So that's
Oh
that.
my god, I
difference
hope she
there,
doesn't
too.
hear me poop.
Yeah, I hope she doesn't realize that
It
I'm
is
taking
hard
a
to
shit
pee.
in Target.
At
Yeah.
urinals, it is hard to pee, I would say, because I feel like it's out in the open. People are gonna look at it
You know what?
and
I don't.
laugh.
Oh wow.
Oh, no.
I'm joking.
So everyone just learned a thing about Noosh.
Yeah.
I don't have an issue peeing with urinals because there is urinal etiquette that most people follow, which is if there's 3 urinals,
You don't stand next to each
exactly,
other.
you leave a spot
Don't
in
stand
between.
in the middle.
Yeah,
The guy who does come in the middle,
Oh.
it's no. If there's one guy on either side,
Yeah.
someone comes in the middle, all right, bro,
Whatever.
you're cool.
Do your thing.
I have had though, like actually, the worst offender. I was at the gym one time, go to the bathroom, at the urinal, and there's my gym has like 12 urinals. It's a wall of urinals, okay? And not a trough. They're individual urinals. That's a thing. I don't know if you guys know. There's a trough. So anyway, I'm standing there, and it's a gym, so people shower, right? This guy he had to be in his 60s, walks out totally naked, comes, and I'm the only one peeing at the urinal. He comes directly next to me, and he stands at the urinal next to me, and he pees. I would stand up and show you, but I don't want to like mess with the microphone.
Yeah.
He stands, no hands on anything but his hips, and he's just like he's just like this, and he starts trying to talk to me about
He's that confident.
He's like, "Hey man, you gonna watch the Super Bowl?" And I was just like, "I'm not about to have a conversation with you about anything."
Yeah, dude, I hate anybody trying to talk to me in there.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not your bro. I'm not your friend. I'm not here to spend some time.
You know what happened? He killed himself that night because you didn't talk to him. Very lonely 60-year-old.
He had a good run.
Yeah,
it's
really sad.
He was old.
Well,
he was clearly very confident about whatever was going on.
Or he thought you were gonna, dig it.
Maybe what?
Like, hey,
that's a move that'll work.
Yeah, just
let me stand right there.
Yeah, check this naked body out.
Dude, random, really brief story, but just random urinal story. Just I used to work in a movie theater. I worked concession stand a couple times. One time, and we see weird stuff happen all the time. One time, late at night, this is like 11 o'clock at night. I'm at the concession stand cleaning up, doing my thing, and some guy starts running out of the bathroom hallway and just runs towards me. His like pants are barely hanging on. He's like pulling them up. He runs up to me. His nose is bleeding, and he's like, "Dude, call the cops! Some guy just punched me in the face." And I was like, oh my God, like, yeah, let me get the phone. Let me call the cops. And then this other second dude runs out of the bathroom also, his pants barely being pulled up. He runs after me, or runs after the other guy, and he's like, this guy just pissed on my shoe. And I was just like,
that warrants a punch in the face.
I don't even know how to react.
You hang up the phone. He got what he deserved.
Like, oh, I'm sorry.
False alarm.
Okay.
Just kidding. Get the fuck out, you two.
Somehow we went from pooping to
peeing to period.
Dudes peeing. Yeah. Man, how like
well, it's
sexist
an interesting topic, I guess.
For us to be like, hold on, enough about women pooping. Let's talk about dudes
Let's talk
peeing.
about dudes with dicks right now.
Let's talk about dicks.
Yeah.
Oh.
Courtney, what do you got?
Well, just going along with that again, I mean, there's this survey, I guess, that was done of bathroom habits, and it said that if presented with 3 empty stalls, men go left 28% of the time. Other 40% of the time, they go straight ahead or go to the right 32% of the time. So it's just the idea of not standing behind, giving each other some space and all of that.
Huh.
And there's a bunch of other stuff. I mean, it's amazing what you can find once you Google. But it's not just in
and
when you Google bathroom habits.
If you Google the right,
only people with master's degrees
can
write
use bathroom habits, you might get some weird.
I've never heard of Google because I don't have degrees or anything. We just Bing or we just ask each other for
do you know
answers.
how to use the Chrome?
Yeah.
Oh my God!
I asked you that today. I straight up said,
"Do you know how to use
Chrome?" Ryan? I'm sorry, man.
It's something like
I brain shamed.
More complicated.
Wow. Actually, you know what is funny though is I kind of did mess up on Chrome.
Yeah, that is true.
Bit, so.
You typed in the address bar when you're searching YouTube.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Okay, thanks.
So
anyway, back to.
Well, it's not just in public; it's also in terms of relationships. I read not so many, but I read some articles that were saying that women will refuse to poop at their boyfriend's house or place or whatever until like at least 6 or 7 months into the relationship. Because then, if they do, I guess maybe it's a sign of like true love. To show that, to be that
I consider that
vulnerable.
good protocol.
Is that true?
Really? Really?
No, you're good protocol for Noosh is never poop in my presence.
Never poop in my presence ever. I don't want to know. Even Ryan, I don't want to know.
Man, do I have a story for you?
Wait, what do you?
He shit
later.
in your bed. No.
Well, not later as in like I'll talk about it after off air. I will talk about it here when there's a segue.
Oh, okay.
It's about the Philippines and all my problems out there.
Yeah.
There's something I don't think I ever told you that I did in your bathroom. So
I'm glad you didn't tell me while I was over there.
I'm going to tell you now.
Okay.
So
everything's coming down now.
Oh boy,
guys! If I'm not friends with Ryan after this, you know it's because of that poop story.
Because of the Philippines.
Well, yeah. So they won't go in front of their boy or at their place or whatever. I don't think they'll actually go in front of them because that'd be weird.
After you've been together for a long time, somebody's in the shower.
I'm sorry. I'm still going to shut the door.
I think that's a personal preference thing. Yeah. My ex-husband and I, there was no closed door policy.
I'm not okay. Look,
we didn't watch each other, but if I had to go,
I get it. You're getting ready in the morning or whatever.
Yeah, he's in the shower, and
that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying take a shit with the door open, please. I'm
No,
saying
no.
if I'm in the shower and it's in the morning and you got to take a dump, and hold on, we've been together for a while, then I mean,
Yeah, please don't do it on the first date. Yeah.
Don't,
that might be a
don't shit your
damper
pants
on it.
or be in like physical pain because you don't want to like take
You find her outside squatting in the
Dude,
backyard.
guys, here's ladies who might the one friend of yours in Oregon. Guess my stepmom bought this stuff called Poopery.
And
it's a spray.
amazing.
And I'm not gonna lie, I used it. It's a spray you spray in the toilet water before you take a dump, and no smell. It smells like mint and vanilla.
Whoa.
It's pretty sweet, man. I'm not gonna
Changes
lie.
my life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
Changes
like goes
everything.
on the top
Also
and
the,
doesn't
The whole
allow
world's
the-
got to know about this.
Have you ever
One
seen,
person in Oregon now does.
you need
Amazon
to-
sales are in a spike
You
now.
should Google the off air. Obviously,
I hope
have
they
you watched
sponsor
the
our show now.
Hey, I
Have
hope
you
because the
watched the
show
ad
Google
for
gets
it?
big. I hope this Google thing gets big because
Google
might
Google.
come
is
off the ground,
sponsored.
but
Yeah.
Actually, because the whole pooping in front of your significant other, it's like the first time you fart.
Yeah,
Like,
no, it's the
that's
same thing
wor-
too.
you know,
Yeah, it's the same thing.
like holding in farts for 3 months is
Yeah.
really awful.
I want to be. I believe this is the case, but I want to be known. I've never done that in Ryan's presence in the years.
Are you two together?
No, but I mean, I'm always
Okay.
hanging out with him. I'm just saying, as a.
We are kind of.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's a bromance, you know. But
Yeah.
but I've never.
But has Ryan farted in front of you?
I don't think so. No.
I've definitely taken shits at your house though.
Yeah, no, of course, you've had to.
Well,
I mean,
that's
Sri
the
Lankan
showing of true
food
love.
destroys
True
your.
love.
Farts,
Yeah.
maybe
My poor,
not, but-
sensitive white innards can
it's-
barely
Yeah.
handle the food that your parents make.
Yeah.
It's delicious. But
Yeah, it's
it
good.
Things happen.
The first
to
time
me.
Ryan tried Sri Lankan food, I just want to say, by the way, he ate it. He's like, oh, it's really good. He just started eating one spoonful after another, and then he just started slowly sweating, and eventually he was just red
What
and
is this
just
curry stuff?
sweating.
Yeah.
And he just like wash his face before he continued.
Yes.
Aw.
Yeah. Anyway,
I'm good now.
Yeah.
I'm good now.
He's good.
I
All
can eat
right,
it
let's talk
like a
about the
champ.
Philippines.
Well, well, I don't know.
I mean, do you have
I mean,
other?
what else you got? I mean,
it's a bit of a story. I
Yeah,
don't wanna-
let's.
we can go on if you want. I mean,
What else do you have to?
well, I was say some of the things that women have done to not let them know that they're going to the bathroom. You know, run the cold faucet,
Yeah.
which I think that would just make it more obvious because you're like, why is there running water?
I think Noosh does that at
you
my
know.
house.
No, I don't do that.
He's
I've
actually
never-
just washing his hands.
Dude, the one thing I've
entire
never
time.
liked, the one thing I never liked about pooping at Ryan's house is this. It's that in the past, his family had like a cushioned toilet seat. And here's the thing.
Oh, I hate
I don't like
hate
those, especially after swimming.
Let me tell you why I don't like it. And I think
Especially
I
after swimming.
Have
What
you
a
ever
specific.
Have you ever sat on one after someone else has been on
Yeah,
one?
that
and
too.
it's like this
That
warm,
too, yeah.
squishy-
what I
So
hate
warm.
about it
Yeah.
is the intimacy. It's because it's soft and it's warm
feels
and
like
it
you're sitting
feels
on someone
like it's
else's
ass to ass. I like the cold, hard surface of a normal seat.
Hey,
It's
man.
It's a metal
sterile.
toilet
It's
seat.
cold.
I have a porcelain toilet now. It's not.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's still, it's not soft and cushiony. I feel like, you know, it's... Anyway, Courtney, let's talk about women. Give us some facts. You know, I want to make sure we cover this topic.
Well, I mean, like
an
I said, there's
important
not a
topic.
whole lot of literature, so I can't really give you too much. But I will. There's this really funny story I read a while ago, and then I guess according to Snopes.com, it was turned out to be a rumor, but it's still really funny because I'm sure it's happened to some. But basically, what it was this girl hooked up with this guy. Whatever, it happens. Then the next
I hear it happens
it
sometimes.
happens
Heyo.
sometimes.
Yeah.
And so then he's like, all right, I have to go to work, but, feel free to, stay, whatever. So he goes, he's like, don't worry about locking the door. It'll lock on your way out. So it's all good. She's like, okay. So she's taking her time. She decides to go ahead and go to the bathroom. She does a poop. And then the toilet gets backed up. And she's like, well, I can't leave it here. So she decides to put it into a grocery bag and she ties it or whatever. And then I guess
She
she
fishes.
fishes it out.
the toilet.
She fishes it out. Hold on,
Okay.
it gets better. She fishes it out, and I guess while she's getting her other stuff ready, she leaves a note saying, oh, by the way, your toilet's backed up, hope to see you again, blah, 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 whatever. She grabs her bag.
Jesus.
As she goes out, the door closes, she realizes she left the bag of poop on the counter.
Oh my God.
Next to the note, your bathroom, your toilet.
Your toilet's broke. Here's a bag of shit.
Listen, I mean, definitely,
Please
she's
don't
probably a
call
sweet
me.
girl, whoever this happened to, if it's a rumor or whatever. But
Yeah.
I think as the guy, if I was the guy and I came home to this, I wouldn't blame her. It's a human thing. Things happen. I don't know if I could handle that. I think it's the little girl pooping at the nursery again. I think
Yeah.
for 3 days I wouldn't be able to see her.
I think it'd be more than that because now there's poop on your counter.
There's
my
poop on
God,
your
you're
counter.
right.
It stood there
You'd
all
ha-
day.
You'd have to
You'd burn your house down.
But
Oh
yeah,
my
you
God.
would.
I think I would have to. I think that's the right
Purification
thing to
by
do.
fire.
I mean, like, hey, no, we'll hang out. I mean, I still want to date you. I have to find a new place to live.
And please don't
Let's
ever
only
come
go
over.
to your place now.
But, there is just, moral of the story. Women poop. Let
okay,
them
guys.
do it. Let
Everybody
them have it.
poops.
Let them have it. I once did an essay where the title of my essay was "Everyone poops, farts, and burps." ... except women. That was my essay
This
title.
is a really important topic for you, I guess.
It is.
Yeah.
You just
Actually,
I did essays.
it was writing on that
Feminism.
poem, on Jonathan Swift's poem, so
Yeah.
it worked
Huh.
at the time.
Thank you for sharing. That was
But yeah,
But I've
That-
met
that-
guys who were like, if a girl farts in front of me, I'm gonna dump her. Like I've met men who've said that, which is
Well,
Yeah.
they're terrible human
I mean,
beings.
they're
yeah,
in
they should
general.
probably be lit on fire. But
Yeah.
that's beside the point.
that's beside the point. The
Jessica
fact-
is pretty hardcore.
I'm an
about
angry woman in general. But
And
no.
that's why you have cats.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah,
Nobody should date guys who think
Right.
that they should break up with people because they fart. That's messed up.
that. I mean, give them a grieving period. You know, for that, but I mean, yeah, they
Give
should
them
come
a
back.
minute to
Give it-
really
just
realize
recalibrate.
and
Deal with the fact that
understand.
that just
Yeah,
happened.
like,
It's
Yeah.
happened.
Remember this, women. These guys you're dating, they see you like you know
They got you on a pedestal.
you're on a pedestal. You're like everything to them, and then you poop, and then you're a human being. So give them time to recognize
So you fall
this
from
is a
grace.
human.
You've destroyed
being.
their dreams, is what you've done. Just
no
I'm
pressure
kidding.
or anything.
Oh my god! Everyone is looking at me like, what a dick.
And everybody's looking at me like this guy has serious poop problems. Like he has some weird psychological issue with bathrooms.
Let's talk about poop problems, guys.
We've been talking about poop for.
In the Philippines,
Oh my gosh!
I said I'd tell
All
the
right,
story.
do it.
That was
I don't
actually
care.
a really good
I got
segue.
it.
We're cutting into Jessica's time, but let's do it. I want to know this.
We're cutting into my time.
All right, let's do that.
I will. I have the short topic. It's fine.
Yeah.
So anyway, Noosh and I were in the Philippines for like 5 months.
By the way, this is the first time I'm hearing this. People, this is not rehearsed. Like I'm going to hear it for the first time. Just I want. Them.
Well,
This will be
the
an
one
honest
part of it.
reaction.
You were
Okay,
there
for some of it.
to
You
know.
were watching. You were just really drunk
He was really drunk for a lot.
of the Philippines.
Well,
I've heard that
For a
part
lot
of the
that
story,
happened
yeah.
there. But anyway, so we were there for what, like 5 months?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we were in the Philippines for work. We were there for 5 months. Stayed in the same hotel. We were like, this is going to be awesome. Best friends, foreign country, getting drunk. What's up? But what ended up happening was as my name implies,
Walters.
I'm fairly white. And for whatever reason, it didn't matter what I ate. It didn't matter if I tried McDonald's out there, I tried tacos, didn't matter. Whatever it was, I immediately had to shit. I was sick the entire time. Like 5 months to have the worst case of diarrhea you could imagine.
Like
Okay,
the
so I
worst
was,
burning anus.
it wasn't even
Gross.
burning. It was
Oh.
just whatever. If I ate, I needed in 30 minutes something was coming out of me. So much so that I don't care. I'm gonna say it. So much so that I literally crapped my pants twice.
Oh my god!
Not even once, twice it happened. And I don't mean like it was a full load. It was like I was like,
A
okay,
squirt?
Was
I'm
this
just
in my
gonna-
presence?
I'm just gonna. One of them, dude. No, not in your presence.
Okay.
One of them happened at work.
Okay.
And I left to go home early because I was like, nah, I'm not. I was like, actually, both times it happened, it was because I didn't want to use the public restroom that was there.
Ah.
Once was at work, and the bathroom there had a. Were you the one who saw the worms?
Let's not even talk about that, dude.
Listen,
What?
a lot of weird stuff happens.
There's a lot
in
of
the
weird
Philippines.
stuff in the
That we're
Philippines.
not talking
There's
about.
toilet
By the way,
worms.
hold on. If there's any listeners who might be in the Philippines, I enjoyed your
Yeah,
country.
we enjoyed
the
the
people
people.
were great.
The
It
people
was.
were awesome.
I had a fun
You
time.
This is
gotta
fun.
work on your bathroom.
Just weird stuff.
Please
I mean,
no
some bathrooms are
toilets.
fine.
Some bathrooms are
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
Okay.
The bathrooms at work
Yeah, yeah.
weren't bad,
Yeah.
except the time that I had to go, and I was like, nah, I'm not using these. But I also didn't drive because I.
We'll talk about Philippines another day. Like that's like a huge
Like an entire
topic.
Right. Okay. So
Let's-
anyway,
yeah.
but I didn't drive at the time. I had a driver who would pick me up and take me to the hotel. So I was like, I'm gonna go back to my hotel room and take a dump there. But I
Did you shit in the car?
mostly made it. No, not in the
that.
car.
Did
Not
you
in the
shit
car. Not in the car. Like on my way up to my room.
Hey,
Whatever
that's clear
happened.
sailing as far as I'm concerned.
Anyway, so and the other time, do you remember when we went to that bar?
Yeah, and you walked
And
away. You had to leave.
I had to
You
leave early. We
Yeah.
had like an AMF each, and I was like, "Listen, I got to go to the bathroom right now." And I go to the bathroom in this bar, and it's filled to the brim with like puke. So I was like, "This isn't
Oh.
happening." So I
Yeah.
called the driver again.
I would have
Same
shat
deal.
in the trash can or something.
No need to
There-
ruin my night.
So
So you went.
anyway, whatever. So I was sick the whole time. I went to the hospital out there because I was like, "This is not okay." And this is the story that you know this. I think I've told you this.
Maybe.
But anyway, this is a story I wanted to tell, but there's a little part at the end that I have never told Noosh that I'll tell him after.
Oh my god.
But anyway, so I go to the hospital, and the hospital, I think it was like a student hospital, like, and actually, you know what? This was like the first time I really felt white privilege. Is I walked in there, and immediately, like, everyone in the doctor, like 3 doctors and a bunch of nurses came over and they wanted to talk to me and like figure out what was going on. And I was like,
money.
And I was like, oh my god, what's happening? Like, there's all these other people in the waiting room, but they're like, well, let's take care of the American first. So I really didn't want to be the like American abroad guy, you know.
But you were.
So I told, well, they. I was for 2 reasons though. One was they really paid way too much attention to me, and 2 was my own doing. But the so they were like, okay, we need a stool sample. All right, fine.
That's easy.
That's a thing. That's a thing that happens.
For him, it is that time.
At the time, I was like, "Don't worry, I got you. I got a lot of it right.
I got a bonus."
Yeah,
so
how much you need?
But here's the thing: when you need, and I know this because when I came back to the States, I also did this because I didn't trust the diagnosis they gave me out there. Here, they give you like this whole kit. It's like a thing that you put in the toilet. It's like another seat.
Yeah.
That you put on the toilet, right? There, they gave me what I can only compare to.
Yeah, I know what you're going to say.
The little
a salsa cup that you get from El Pollo Loco. I'm not joking. That's what they gave me. And they handed it to me, and I was just like... Okay, so I didn't understand the thought process behind this. Because, one, I told them I was sick, and I was like, all right, so if it's liquid... That I don't know if it's better or worse that it's liquid. Anyway, so I go to
get a glove.
I go to the no glove. Nothing.
No glove.
They just gave me the
just
cup.
Shit all over your hands with this cup in it.
Anyway, so I go to the bathroom to do this, and I walk in there, and there's not like a thing where toilet paper is supposed to be. There's no toilet paper anywhere. There's just a cup.
Oh my gosh.
And this is when I was like, nah, it's time to be the American douchebag guy. Like, and I walked out, and I just went up to a doctor, and I was like, you need to find me some fucking toilet paper because I'm not doing this. And I didn't feel bad at the time because I was really upset, but he made some nurse run around for like, I don't know, 5, and she came back with like 9 rolls of toilet paper, and I don't know if she was just
they
like...
weren't sure how much you needed. Like,
I don't know if she just didn't know how much I was going to need.
How much do Americans use?
Or if she was just like, I want to really make him feel better. And it did a little bit knowing
comfort from
that
home.
I had...
She brought all the toilet paper in the Philippines for you.
She did.
Damn it, you're an American.
I guess, yeah. So, anyway, I did what I had to do. It wasn't pretty, whatever. And they were like, oh, nothing's wrong. And I was just like, what? Like... This has been 5 months. Like, I've lost like 20 pounds. This
they
is
would have
not
actually diagnosed you had you not been a dick about the toilet paper.
Maybe that's what it was. Like, they were just like, he's got worms, but fuck that guy. Anyway, long story short. Well, actually, I have to tell you your part first. So I had to leave early. I was like, listen, I'm going home. I'm not going to stay here for this. I can't do this anymore. The last day I was there, I was hanging out with Noosh in his room. We were watching CNN because there's nothing else to watch.
Yeah.
And he fell asleep because he'd been drinking. That's what you did out there, is you just...
Well, yeah, I worked also sometimes, I guess.
You made a face like I shouldn't have said that. He was a very...
You probably shouldn't have mentioned that out loud. No.
Anyway, so the whole world knows now. Don't let your parents listen to this.
Oh my god.
So, whatever. He fell asleep, and I was like, I got that feeling. It's got to happen. And I was like, I already checked out of my room. I can't go back in there. So I was like, I'm just going to do it in Noosh's bathroom. I shit like straight blood in your bathroom, dude.
Oh my god!
It was, yeah. And it's funny to me because I'm alive and I'm okay. But at the time, I was really scared. But I couldn't tell you because I knew you would make this face that you're making right now.
Nobody sees me, but my mouth is like wide open. My hands are literally on my head, like on my head.
And you know what? This isn't a concern for my safety that you're doing right now. This is oh my god, I used that toilet after you.
I used that toilet.
I could have had.
No, actually, I'm not gonna lie, dude.
Ass,
It's weird, but I'm actually okay with blood more than shit. Like, I'm like, well,
it's blood from my.
Yeah, but it's more blood
ass,
than
though.
shit.
Whatever. Anyway, I'm glad you're okay with it. I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know what else
really
to say about that.
comfortable.
Anyway,
You should have come clean sooner.
He would have. He was coming clean the whole time he was there.
I was really clean when I came
clean.
back.
Yeah, he had the most efficient colonic.
Okay.
So this is enough of that story. That's there you go.
That's it. Oh, that was
Came back. Doctor said I'm cool.
Fantastic.
So, guys, I want to
now.
propose something since this is the last episode. Let's just change the topic from psychology to poop because that is what we talked about for like 30 minutes.
Fantastic.
It's hard not to talk about it.
It's a very good topic in terms of creating discussion. Yeah, it's intensely,
we all do it.
intensely relatable.
We've all had
horrible experiences.
Jessica, what is your...
Dude, are we going to go around the table and say a poop story?
No.
Oh, you're saying what's our topic?
Subject.
What's
this is an episode about psychology, reminding everybody.
I was going to say, this is...
Psychology. Today's word is psychology.
Thanks, Big Bird.
Can you do it in Big Bird's voice?
Psychology.
Oh my god.
Today's word is psychology.
That was, wow.
Was that good?
That was great.
Good
job.
Voice acting.
Okay, so I decided to do like I'm doing a book report. He did a book report. She did kind of an off the cuff thing. So I'm going to talk to you guys about hysteria.
Okay.
So hysteria is kind of a catch-all in the last 4,000 years for anything women do.
4,000 years? It goes back that far?
Back to the first description is found from the ancient Egyptians in 1900 BC.
Huh.
She was acting crazy.
Yeah.
Hysteria.
Bitch be crazy. Yeah, it can be anything from women having too many emotions, not enough emotions, being super horny, not being horny enough, having a seizure, just anything.
Super horny, really a problem?
Yeah.
For some men,
in Victorian era, women
I
weren't supposed to
show anything.
Celia,
in some places.
Please stop shitting and please stop trying to touch my dick.
Please stop shitting on my dick. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It just got awkward. Okay. So, if we go back to this whole thing, it's the first kind of mental health thing that you'll find in history. And it's attributed to women. It's a women's disorder. It's strictly women for like thousands of years. And it's because we have uteruses. And that is basically it. So there's all of these reasons that they came up with. And the first reason that I found was the Egyptians felt that women suffered from hysteria because of spontaneous uterine movements. Basically wandering uterus. Like...
Wait, what? I'm sorry, that took me a second to process that.
Basically, it's not staying in its place. It's just getting bored. It's wandering around the body. It's causing all sorts
distracted.
of issues.
My uterus is in my shoulder. I
have
lungs, what's
shoulder
up?
pain.
Yo, lungs, what's up?
And so it was one of those things. And in Egypt, and this actually comes up a bunch of times, that they felt like, okay, the uterus is moving around. It's improperly placed. So how do we get it back into place? So one of the ways is they had women smell disgust. If they thought the uterus was too high, they'd have them smell like really disgusting smelling things. But at the same time, put something nice and floral near their genitals to try to attract the uterus back down.
You don't want to be near this bad smell.
These are doctors. The doctors are just like, oh yes, Jessica,
this
is Egypt. Where
well,
they're
still doctors. We're not taking away their degrees. They had a degree, the equivalent of respect.
And then if they felt that the uterus was too low, I'm not sure how that would happen, but
it's hanging down.
It's just like
ankle.
Chilling.
Yeah,
they would swap the smells.
Crawl down the right leg.
Disgusting smelling stuff near the genitals. Nice floral scents near the nose. But then we get into the Greeks, and it just turns into a whole different story. So the first physician,
okay.
He is considered the founder of part of
doctors
of
doctors.
Of hysteria.
My name's Doctor.
So he actually placated a revolt of Argos virgins. They refused to honor the phallus. They fled into the mountains, and their behavior was taken for madness. So the way he fixed them...
Wait, I'm sorry. He showed them a dick and they ran?
Well, they had like rituals.
In layman's terms.
So like basically, big giant dick. They were like, "Fuck that shit." They ran into the mountains, and everyone's like, "Why? Why are they so?"
How
upset?
can you be so offended by such a magnificent thing?
Women these days.
So
not a problem.
He helped cure them. He calmed them down, and then he urged them to carnally get with some strong young men, and that actually made them feel better.
So his conclusion was that he's going to basically fuck them into health?
No. His conclusion was, you're scared of dicks, what you need is some dick, girl.
Let me read you verbatim. He felt that the women's madness was derived from their uterus being poisoned by venomous humors due to a lack of orgasms and uterine melancholy. So we get it.
Your uterus is sad.
Jimmy, you're afraid of clowns. The best way to cure that is to have a clown give you a
sex
hand
with
job.
you. Yeah. So then we get into people we might know about. Plato argues that the uterus is sad and unfortunate, and when it's not joined with the male and it does not give rise to birth, that's just what happens. There's a Euripides myth about curing the melancholy of the uterus, and it is by participating in the Dionysian ritual of the Maenads, which is basically wine and orgies.
I know Dionysus.
Dude, I feel like the Greeks were just like, the cure for everything for women is just fucking them, right? Like, dude, of course, hell yeah.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, basically. They were just like, I've got a cure for you every time. So then we get into Hippocrates, and he talks about...
Wait, Hippocrates is the Hippocratic Oath guy, right?
There we go.
Okay.
So then he asserts that a woman's body is physiologically cold and wet, hence prone to putrefaction of humors.
Cold and wet.
And the uterus is prone to getting sick, especially if it's deprived of the benefits of sex and procreation, as opposed to men who have just naturally dry and warm bodies that are, do the opposite. They help please the uterus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there's a lot of talk. There's a lot of toxic humors and all this stuff. But then they get into the wandering uterus again. That fucker came back.
Well, I mean, because there's scientific evidence, guys, and it's been proven.
And it gets back into the whole, having to smell disgusting stuff, like smelling gross stuff, so your uterus will calm down and go back to its
At least
place.
there's one thing the Greeks got from the Egyptians, as opposed to the other way around.
Yeah. So there's a lot of repetition of this over and over and over. And then sometime in the a little time after the modern ages, we get into other ways to fix it. Let me go backwards. The Victorian age, back to smelling salts, when women would have these...
But at least now there were salts.
Yeah, well, I'm sure it was acrid salts then. It was probably sulfuric, whatever, but they...
Civilized.
Yeah, so they'd call it smelling salts. But yeah, women would become over-emotional, they'd faint, and the whole purpose of the smelling salts was to bring them back and help make their uterus go back into place. Again. So this theory of this wandering uterus has been around for like thousands of years at that point. It just won't go away.
Do we know that it's not true?
Yes.
I'm just kidding.
I mean, it's actually older than some religions, which is kind of crazy when you think about it.
So there's other things where they talk about hysteria, but a lot of it is always attributed to women being young, not having children and being virgins, and they're most prone to hysteria. So they even talk about hysteria being things like the Salem witch trials. Yeah. That's actually a documented hysteria, and it was a bunch of young, virgin, apparently bored women with rotting uteruses that, they just kind of went crazy. I don't think the method of fixing that was to have sex with all of them, but they lit a few on fire.
Well, I mean, sometimes you gotta.
Sometimes you gotta.
Salem.
You never know. And it wasn't until Freud that it was ever thought to be anything other than a female disorder.
That hysteria can affect men?
Yeah, that hysteria can affect men. Because then he gets into this whole Oedipus thing, and that men become hysterical because they can't live out their fantasy of being with their mother and all sorts of weird shit.
And then it became about men.
So...
why we suffer so since Freud.
So our wandering wombs are one thing. But then... What?
Well,
you can speak.
Oh, I can speak.
You can speak.
I can make like noises and gestures and like.
Yeah, you look like.
Well, we gotta soon start to create bookends for things as things.
He's playing your time's up music.
Yeah,
I'm playing.
We
skipped a break again, by the way.
We had to skip a break.
It's okay.
But you know what our break was? Our break was your poop story. That was our break basically.
I don't know why I told that.
It was funny.
Well, then
it was
I'll
the
get
rush.
to the point. So, how did we treat hysteria as we got into the late 1900s or the 1800s, 1900s? Pelvic massage. Yep. Or doctors would have these hysterical women, and they would basically physically masturbate them to orgasm.
I think it was around this time that's where the vibrator rack was actually
That's
developed.
what I was getting to, because this actually led to the invention of the vibrator, because they found that physically, manually stimulating women to the point of orgasm was very labor intensive, and their hands and their wrists were
They're
getting
like,
really
I'm
Poor
tired.
men. Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
fingering
they did
you.
that because
Yeah.
they didn't want to use their hands anymore. It was just too much.
And
So
this
they're
could
just like,
only be administered by a doctor.
yeah. And
Don't ever
I
let your
didn't- I
husband
but
didn't-
do
before it
this.
went mainstream, of course, that was a doctor's job.
Yeah, and I didn't look into it to find out if once they found that, if like women, like if the incidence of hysteria just like shot way up, like, oh my god, I'm so hysterical.
I gotta go see the doctor.
I gotta go to the doctor like 3-4 times this week.
The husband's really concerned.
I got a
Did
prescription
he help?
for you.
Yeah, but they also had some really wild things, like they used high pressure water, but they only did it for certain periods of time. So basically,
His face.
What?
so like since you're not a woman, you don't understand that you can use a shower head to do the same thing. So it's just the water doing the opposite of.
I can see that, but it's high pressure.
He's like, I've seen videos.
Yeah. Is this like
No, I'm
smart?
just
No.
saying. Yeah, well, I have seen videos. But I'm just saying. I'm just saying high pressure.
Or to get into the worst part, there were men. There were some really crazy doctors that would like remove the clitoris.
That's heavy.
And that's our show.
And that's
So,
it.
I
This is the
hate
last
everything.
episode.
The last
Ryan,
episode of the
please
Water
give
Cooler
us
2.0.
something.
Actually, my stuff is not. It's not disturbing, like removing clitorises,
Clitori,
but
yeah.
it's not exactly happy. I'm talking about hookup culture.
Okay.
So originally, when we were going to talk about psychology, I really wanted to find a fun 1960s drug trial, just like a fun, like, oh, everybody's on acid kind of thing. But all of those end really terribly. So instead, I went with hookup culture. All right, so all the data I'm going to be talking about is heterosexual couples or hookups. Just wanted to throw that out there because I didn't find anything actually about
Right.
homosexual.
Like Grindr.
Yeah.
Okay.
So about Grindr. No, I didn't find anything about Grindr. All right. So the average age in the U.S. for people getting married is like much older than it used to be. Mm-hmm. Puberty starts much younger now. So there's this like age, this like time in a person's life where they're just like having uncommitted sex. We all know this. We're all mid-20s.
Yeah, adults.
We know
I'm in
that's
my
a thing
30s,
now.
but-
I'm in my
Sure.
30s too.
Oh well.
I gave you guys an open to be like, yeah, I'm also in my
Yeah.
mid-20s, but you went with like, I'm older than you.
Well, isn't Nushin his late 20s?
Whatever, we're
Anyway,
late 20s. Who
yeah,
cares?
you're all
Whatever.
old. We're old.
We're all
We're old.
21.
We're all
anyway,
21. Oh my god.
I just turned 18.
This is so awesome.
all right. Anyway, so 80% of college students say they've had some kind of hookup experience, right?
Okay.
70% of sexually active 12 to 21-year-olds. Who is that 12-year-old
Oh my god.
sexually active person?
They're in Rosemond, definitely. Yeah.
What
All
else
right,
they're
so
doing, Rosemary?
they say that 70% of them have said that they've had uncommitted sex within the last year. So there was a study of about 840 college students, and they were asked if they felt positive, negative, or mixed the day after a hookup. So the morning after, walk of shame.
Right.
50% of guys said they felt positive about it. To be expected.
Yeah.
He's all, yeah.
Yeah.
He's happy for him.
I'm happy for those guys.
Now get sad. 49% of women said they were unhappy about it.
Did they leave a bag of poop on the counter? They left.
Out of spite, maybe.
By the way, that last 11% of guys who were not happy about it, that was the bag of poop.
49%
Those
of
are the
girls
guys
that
who
had
received
a 4-minute
bags of
hookup
poop.
and were like, I had to sleep in
Well,
the bed with
that's
him.
either statistically half of women who have like one night stands, or whatever, either feel like, Jesus, that guy, what was I thinking? Or he was really terrible. I don't know. It was one of those two things, right? So,
Or he never called, he ghosts her and then she feels like shit. I don't know.
well, these are specifically the morning after a hookup,
Oh,
so it's
okay.
not
Just
necessarily
like-
they don't know if he's going to call back yet. He probably didn't. Not if she left a bag of poop. That's for sure. Anyway, there was another study, and I only bring this up because this statistic particularly is funny to me. There was another study, pretty much exactly the same, done in Canada. 78% of women and 72% of men felt bad afterward.
Oh,
Wow.
And I just think
Canadians.
how Canadian to just, I'm so sorry I put my penis in you. Like that's how everyone, or vice versa. That's Canada. I guess they all feel bad.
Maybe the hookup culture in America, maybe the girl woke up and discovered that she had sex that night, or I'm sometimes you wake up and you're
listen,
like,
I'm only talking about consensual stuff. I don't want to talk about.
That's not hookup culture.
That's not
just
hookup
rape.
culture. That's just rape. Yeah, that's true, and that's
Yeah.
really unfortunate and sad.
Yeah. Dude, you guys took it.
You've done a great job.
I'm nostalgic for the poop conversation.
See, the problem is I've gotten drunk and woke up and been like, shit. And I didn't wake up and be like, shit, I was just raped. I was like, shit, I just did that. I didn't wake up and be like,
okay, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, no, I don't mean like, I discovered I got raped by some guy.
Besides blacking out, what I tried to find out what are the reasons behind so much hookup regret. Because that's pretty significant, mostly for women and Canadians. But anyway, so they've done a lot of studies about why there's so much hookup regret, and there's two main causes. One of them is social self-esteem, I feel like I used a person, or I feel like I was used, that sort of thing, or embarrassment, which I think is your thing. Like, oh god, I had sex with that person, right? Yeah. The other is sexual satisfaction, and this is where I found a lot of data about this. I mean, there's a lot of psychologists and scientists who are like, we got to figure out why people are so unsatisfied with sex. So they did a huge study with 13,000 people from 19 different colleges, and they were asked about two things: oral sex rates and orgasm rates. All right. So for oral sex, in first-time hookups, they asked also people who were in relationships and just hooking up. So in oral sex, the first-time hookups, 55% of men received oral. In 55% of hookups, only men received oral, I should say.
Yeah. Okay.
19% only women received oral, and in 27% both received, which that's sad, in my opinion. That's pretty messed up. In relationships, it gets a little better. 32% still only men, 16% only women, and 52% was both. So at least half the time,
it gets better.
Half the time, if you lock that guy down, half the time it'll be like, all right,
fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Now for orgasms, this is dismal. All right, so for orgasms and first-time hookups, this surprised me. 31% of men. I thought it'd be more. 31% of the time, men orgasmed. That's pretty low, I think.
That could be stage fright.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
Well, this is first time.
First-time hookups.
Oh, that makes...
Alcohol could be involved, one
that's
drink.
That's a thing.
And
whiskey dick. Yeah. All right. I guess. 10%. Only 10% of women have orgasms in their first hookup, which...
And that's why it was the last hookup.
That probably has something to do with that 27% from oral also.
Could be.
You'd think. Because that's the easiest way, I would say, probably.
Yeah. For some men. I'm not all men are
good at it.
Have any clue what's going on down there. They're like, should we lick her leg? No, nothing really exciting going on.
All right, well, in relationships, 85% of men finished and 68% of women finished, which is...
Better.
Are we out of time?
Keep going.
I mean, that's really? The data. We can just talk about it now.
Well...
I think really the moral of that story is... Guys, just go down on girls. I mean, stop being a bitch. Stop being such a bitch.
Pep talk from Ryan.
Dicks are gross. If she's putting that dick in her mouth, the least you can do is, return the favor. I mean, that's...
Well...
I would say that's fair, right? Don't just...
Yeah, I don't know.
Jessica's really against getting eaten out, I guess.
No. I am a huge fan of it. But, if it's the end of the day, I've been out on a date, it's really hot out, I'm not going to be like, hey, get in it. It's not really the...
Well... I'm talking about it. Are you gonna hook up with someone if you're I just got back from the gym? I know I just met you.
I am kind of slutty,
and this is crazy. But here's my vagina.
Yeah, touch it. Yeah, no. You're right. You are correct.
I think usually when you're gonna get laid,
I have an idea
you think it might be happening. Yeah, right.
Yeah, no,
But then it takes away the spontaneity of it. I mean,
yeah,
Dude,
we do have wipes that you can carry in your purse.
Do you guys just spontaneously run into people and just fuck them? Because that's never happened to any dude.
Yeah,
all the time.
I was at Albertsons the other day. No, I don't know.
Yeah,
I think that there's so much more to those statistics because you don't know all of what's going into
or out of
or if
or both.
Heyo.
I don't know.
I don't know if that was.
But
also, I mean, it's been shown in tons of studies that orgasm for women is not just physical; it's psychological, it's emotional, it's all of that stuff, and we're spending so much time in our heads that we don't really,
and sometimes
want to enjoy what's happening.
So maybe it's.
I mean, so there's a lot of things going on.
and I can say if I just met you and you want to go down on me, there are times where I'm like, oh, like, you know, what if? Like, girls are very we won't poop in public, so like, hey, jump down there and go at it. It's kind of weird if it's the first hookup. Like, hey,
I think I should say, just for the two of you and for women listening everywhere, no man ever, at least not anyone worth having sex with, has ever looked at any vagina and been like,
no, gross,
I'm not doing that. I mean,
that's for that one person.
I want you guys. Oh my god! I just saw something on my notes here last night at like 1:30 a.m. I was going over these again, and I want you guys to know that, like, I don't remember writing this, but, like, I think I was half asleep. My last line on my notes here is I wrote #all oral matters. You can verify it. It's on there.
I think it should be women's oral matters.
So we need to definitely hashtag that on whatever we post this video.
All oral matters.
Video.
We talked about vibrators, poop, oral sex.
Yes.
Blues Clues.
Wow, actually, I was the odd man for today.
Yeah.
I literally came in with this idea of I'm going to talk about some serious psychology. I mean, this is all psychology.
You were boring as
but
I'm just kidding. You
had...
weren't boring. You were fine. Don't make that face.
Blues Clues. I don't know, masturbation, poop, and...
Medical masturbation.
Medical masturbation.
Yeah.
Get it right.
By the way, random fact, I don't know if you guys knew this, but do you know why cornflakes was created originally? It was to suppress sexual appetite. So to make you not want to have sex.
Cereal.
It's like
to not want, that's why, though. Kellogg, the Dr. Kellogg, he created it to make people not want to have sex.
Kellogg was a doctor? Mm-hmm. Wow, who wasn't a doctor but me and Ryan, basically?
Well, I mean, the whole science around, women and orgasms and being frigid and all sorts of stuff. It's like, if women... He's waving at you. Oh,
sorry. We need to just call attention when we're doing... I'm trying to mime and see if we need to...
I'm saying let's finish up what we're talking about. That's fine.
Well, we can... it's fine. I could talk about this for days, so it is good to tell me to shut up. Okay. All right.
If you saw his face right now, he said shut up to you
mentally
with his expression.
He says shut up to me basically always with his expression.
Like...
Be quiet then, bitch. Yeah.
So today's word was psychology. No, that's fine.
Hashtag all oral matters.
Hashtag all oral matters.
Thanks, Big Bird.
Other special guest, Big Bird.
Yeah. We're going to get sued now.
So on that...
any closing thoughts, guys? Anything you want to...
Everybody poops. Mention? All oral matters.
Everybody poops.
All oral matters.
After she showers, go down on her.
Yeah.
Blues Clues.
Nice.
So I mean, okay. What are you guys doing the rest of the week? Anything you want to signal boost or any causes you want to mention really quick before we head off air? Like this is that time.
My life is pretty boring.
Check out my bakery or whatever that.
Yeah, check out the bakery. It's called something Confections.
The French Confection Co.
The French Confection Co. In Burbank.
In Burbank. Yes.
Burbank. Check it out. If you ever have some medical emergency,
please don't call me.
Don't call Jessica.
On September 10th at USC Verdugo Hills Hospital in Glendale, there is going to be a suicide prevention seminar. You can go online onto their website for Verdugo Hills Hospital and sign up if you're interested. It's for all people in the community. It's from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. So there's that.
Cool.
Yeah, I just threw in suicide prevention.
No, it's helpful.
I want people to signal boost because if they have causes important to them, I'd like them to.
Well, I am part of the committee. It talks about all populations, LGBT, college age, high school age. So
cool.
And I guess what's important to me is go down on your ladies.
Yeah. All oral matters.
Hashtag
all oral matters.
All right. We won't be back next week.
Guys,
this was the last one.
No, I know we'll be back. I mean,
I won't.
This is the last episode. No, this is the first episode. We're going to be back next week. Don't worry. Just if you're interested in being a guest, we have a Facebook.
Oh, we do have.
Yeah, we should signal boost that. We should
signal boost ourselves.
We should signal boost ourselves.
Go on Facebook. Yeah. We're the Water Cooler 2.0.
Yeah.
Or the page was created today, or find us on Facebook.
Find us on Facebook. I mean, ask me or Ryan, and we'll just give you a link, and get you.
We desperately need guests.
I mean, here's the thing. There is a public-facing page where you can just check out the show, get information, check out pictures, whatever. But we have a group on Facebook that is private where people who are interested in being a guest can be a part of that group. We'll discuss what our next episodes will be, and if people are interested, they can sign on. So if you're interested in being a guest, just let us know, and we'll put you in the group. And
we work around the guests also. So I mean, whatever you want to talk about, we can find something.
What we generally do is we find one guest, and if that guest has a topic they want to talk about, we'll build an episode around that guest and find another guest who has a similar topic, and that's what we do.
And clearly, they can be as varied as
as varied
and
as
oral sex and Blue's Clues.
So just if you're interested, just come check us out. And that's it for today's episode.
Thanks for listening, organ person.
I know who it is. It's Cody, my good buddy Cody.
Thanks, Cody.
Yeah. Thanks, Cody. So
shout
out. So hey, pretty good.
Also, if you didn't listen live, it will be on the
iTunes
for KDHR.
The iTunes.
Yeah.
The iTunes.
Eventually, we'll have our own iTunes
You can
whole
find
thing,
it on
but for now, it's a part of KDHR.
Facebook.
The Facebook. Or you can find us on the Google.
The Google.
Yeah.
If you're using Chrome. If you're not using Chrome, you should probably just kill yourself.
Oops. Well, so pretty good first episode, Ryan. Would you say so? Yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I guess. All right.
Let's go ahead and end it. Actually, I want to say one thing really quick.
Jeez.
I just want to say that the Water Cooler 2.0, we don't have a blurb yet, so I'm going to say it. The Water Cooler 2.0 is made possible by KDHR Radio, which is a student-run radio station on the campus of California State University, Dominguez Hills. And come check them out at www.kdhr.net. And also, the opening music that we used is Space Ace, which was a song that was composed by Blind. You can find that music on overclockremixes.com. So, .org. Oh, thank you.
So official.
All right, well, hey, thanks, guys, for listening, and have a...
Maybe catch you next week.
Maybe.
Probably not.
Maybe. Well, we'll try.
Ryan Anoush Are Dead is made possible thanks to KDHR, the student-operated radio station of California State University, Dominguez Hills. For more information about KDHR, please visit www.kdhr.net. The intro song for this show is Space Ace by Blind. This music is made available thanks to Overclocked Remix. For more information, please visit ocremix.org.